Hello everyone, I am Marjeline Orashan and now I am your discussant and we are going to travel in Cambodia. So, Cambodia is one of the country in Asia that we are going to discuss, but before that, we need to know the president and the prime minister in Cambodia. And based on my research, the president and the prime minister in Cambodia is the same. Yun Sin is one of the longest serving political leaders in world history, having held power in Cambodia in various coalitions since 1985. He is currently the president of the ruling Cambodians Filipinos Party or the CPP. Yun Sin was born on August 5, 1952, to a farming family in Kampong Cham province. Like many Cambodians, Yun Sin later changed his birthday. He added 16 months with his new birth date of April 4, 1951. He received his secondary education in Phnom Penh while living as a pagoda boy at Wat Nikaboan. In the late 1960s, he formally joined the Marxist-Leninist Cambodian People's Revolutionary Party, later known as the Khmer Rouge. He fought with the communist forces as they took over the country in 1975 and declared an ultra-Maoist government. While serving as the chief of special regimental staff of the Khmer Rouge in the Eastern Zone, he lost his left eye in battle. In 1977, Yun Sin and others fled to neighboring Vietnam, Cambodia's historical enemy. In 1978, Yun Sin joined Heng Samrim in organizing a Vietnam-sponsored military effort, the Kampuchea National Front for National Salvation, to overthrow the Khmer Rouge. When the Khmer Rouge collapsed on January 7, 1979, the front became the People's Republic of Kampuchea, a communist regime backed by Vietnam. After the fall of the Khmer Rouge, Vietnam appointed Hun Sen as the foreign minister of the People's Republic of Cambodia, and in 1985 he was elected by the National Assembly to replace Prime Minister Chan Si, who died in Moscow while being treated for a cardiac ailment. After the Paris Peace Accords were signed in October 1991, Hun Sen and his party, now named the Cambodian People's Party or the CPP, participated in UN-monitored elections in 1993. The CPP lost to the Royalist Party, Van Sin Pik, led by Norodom Ranarij, but Yun Sin refused to step down. After King Norodom Sihanouk intervened, Yun Sin managed to remain in power as the second prime minister in a rallying coalition with Van Sin Pik, and the CPP preserved much of its political dominance, particularly in rural areas. Form of government. Cambodia inherited legal and political system and the state administration system from France. The kingdom became a French protectorate in 1863 and a colony in 1884. In 1953, Cambodia gained its independence from France. Today, the country adheres to a civil law system, law and judiciary, and an administration system that developed out of the French system. The Kingdom of Cambodia is an invisible state. According to the Constitution, constitutionally monarch and liberal multi-party democracy principles define the country government system. While the king reigns but does not govern, Khmer citizens' fundamental rights and freedoms and recognized and political parties are encouraged to participate in elections. State powers are separated into the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary in Article 51 of the Constitution. However, there is not any separation of functions between members of the Council of Ministers and those of the National Assembly. In other words, members of the National Assembly can also be members of the Council of Ministers, the most powerful body of the executive. All the state powers belong to Cambodian citizens. Nevertheless, they exercise these powers only through the Parliament Council of Ministers and Courts. They elect members of the National Assembly every 5 years and members of the Senate every 6 years, while the Council of Ministers is required to have National Assembly support by a vote of confidence. Upon a request made by the Supreme Council of Magistracy, judges and prosecutors are nominated, suspended, and dismissed from their status by the king. Every 5 years, Cambodian citizens may directly or indirectly elect their representatives at the local government level. Under the administration's policy of decentralization or deconcentration, the local government has some degree of administrative autonomy from the national government, but the former remains reliant on the latter in terms of financial channels and resources. See administration. The national government has oversight of both legal and institutional frameworks over the provincial and local government. Any regulation that are issued by the government, government ministries, and other national bodies have a higher ranking than those of a local administration. Also, at the sub-national level, the ministries and other national bodies have additional hierarchies in the form of provincial departments and the branches in the capital city and in each province and district. Next is the map of the country of Cambodia, and you can see this is the picture of the Cambodia. Currency and tourist destination. First, I will discuss the currency of the Cambodia. The US dollar is the main currency in Cambodia, but Cambodian riel is becoming more widely used. Prices in hotels, shops, and restaurants are now usually quoted in US dollars and riel. Change of less than $10 will generally be given in riel at a rate of around 4,000 riel US dollar. And now we need to know that the currency code for Cambodian riel is KHR, and in the currency code for Philippines peso is PHP. So convert Cambodian riel to Philippine peso. Example, 10,000 KHR is equivalent to the Philippines 143.148 pesos. And convert Philippines peso to Cambodian riel, the 10,000 pesos to 698,531 KHR. And now let's move on to the tourist destination of Cambodia, Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is the city temple, is the most magnificent and largest of all Angkor temples and top tourist attraction in Cambodia. Built around the first half of 12th century by King Suryavarman, the temple balance, composition, and beauty make it one of the finest monuments in the world. A huge rectangular reservoir surrounds Angkor Wat, which rises up through a series of three rectangular terraces to the central shrine and tower at the height of 213 meters or the 669 feet. These arrangements reflects the traditional Khmer idea of the Temple Mountain, in which the temple represents Mount Meru, the home of the gods in Hinduism. Bayon Temple, part of the world-famous destination of Angkor. The Bayon Temple features a sea of over 200 massive stone faces looking in all directions. The curious smiling faces, true by many to be a portrait of a Jayavarman, the seventh himself, or a combination of him and Buddha, are an instantly recognizable image of Angkor. Built in the 12th century by King Jayavarman the seventh as part of a massive expansion of his capital Angkor Thom. The Bayon is built at the exact center of the royal city. The National Museum of Cambodia, home to one of the finest Khmer sculpture collections, it is one of the top museums in Phnom Penh, the capital, considered as the best places to visit in Cambodia. If you are a history enthusiast or looking for explore the culture of this beautiful Asia country to its fullest, one of the first things to see in the museum includes a bronze reclining Vishnu statue. And as you take a look further into the museum, you get to see the ancient Angkorian structures and pieces of ultimate cultural significance. Kokir was the capital of the Khmer Empire for a very brief period from the year 928 to 944 AD. In this short time, some very spectacular buildings and immense sculpture were constructed. The site is dominated by Prasat Thom, a 30-meter and 98 feet tall temple pyramid rising high above the surrounding jungle. A giant Garuda, mythical half-man, half-bird creature, carved into the stone blocks, still guard the very top although it's partially covered now. Left to the jungle or for nearly a millennium, Kukir was one of the Cambodian most remote and inaccessible temple destinations. This has now changed thanks to recent demining and the opening of a new toll road. Tonle Sap. Tonle Sap is the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia and is of major importance to Cambodia. The lake expands and shrinks dramatically with the seasons. From November to May, Cambodia's dry season, the Tonle Sap drains into the Mekong River at Phnom Penh. However, When the year's heavy rains begin in June, the flow of the Tonle Sap changes directions and an enormous lake forms. The Tonle Sap is home to many ethnic Vietnamese and numerous Cham communities living in floating villages around the lake. And now let's move on to travel details from Philippines to Cambodia. So this is the cheapest flights to Cambodia from Manila Ninoy Aquino. So from Manila Ninoy Aquino to Siem Reap is 4,760 pesos. That price found on November 8, 2022. Manila Ninoy Aquino to Phnom Penh is 4,913 pesos. Price found on November 9, 2022. Manila Ninoy Aquino to Sihanoukville from 15,364 pesos. That price found on November 5, 2022. And now let's move on to food specialty and delicacies. First is the Coitiv, the noodle soup. Coitiv is a noodle soup made from pork or beef stock and rice, vermicelli, and toppings including beans, sprouts, and green onions. A variety of meat choices can be added such as pork, chicken, fish balls, and beef as well as seafood. In some places, it's served alongside sweet, spicy, garlic sauce and a small slice of fresh lime. This is when the real flavor starts. Head to the open-air food stalls at any market. You will find coitive shops in no time. Next is baisa crook or the grilled pork and broken rice. The simple and yummy baisa crook is pork marinated in coconut milk or garlic before being brought to a slow grill. It's then served with broken or fractured rice and a small bowl of clear chicken broth as well as some fresh vegetables. As a part of the street food culture, it is available everywhere, especially in busy neighborhoods. It's so popular that many middle and upper restaurants also include it on their menus. Try it with iced coffee. The pairing can be very satisfying. Tuako or the Cambodian sausage. Tuako is a Cambodian sausage made from beef or pork and various spices. Just like any good homemade sausage, the authentic Khmer sausage contains at least 20 to 25% fat. Some prefer to use pork belly as the main ingredient. It definitely serves the purpose well. Tuako can be enjoyed on its own in barbecued, grilled, or pan-fried styled or served with steamed rice and fresh vegetables. Samlor macho tree or the sweet and sour soup with fish. Samlor macho tree is soup that popular in many households in Cambodia as it's not only easy to make but also has a lovely taste. Its ingredients include fish, garlic, lemongrass, celery, tamarind juice, beans, sprouts, pineapple, and seasoning with sugar, fish sauce, and salt. Many people also add some fresh green herbs and hot chili pepper on top before serving. Fish amok or the stem coconut fish in banana leaves. In the Khmer diet, rice and freshwater fish play big roles because of the abundance of both. Amok is a national dish made from fish, coconut milk, and curry paste. All the ingredients are mixed together and put in banana leaf cups with coconut cream on top, then steamed. Another common form is amok chok, snails with curry steamed in their shells. It's best served with a plate of hot steamed rice. The last one is the Nom Bak Chok or the Khmer noodles. Many locals start their day with Nom Bak Chok, a popular dish known as Khmer noodles in English. It consists of rice noodles topped with green fish, gravy, and lots of fresh vegetables including cucumbers, green beans, mint leaves, banana blossom, and bean sprouts. It's very similar to the Thai dish that's known as Kanom Jin. Economic status and source of income of the people. Cambodia economy currently adheres to an open market system and has seen rapid economic growth over the past decade. In 2021, Cambodia GDP was 29.8 billion US dollars, income per capita, while growing rapidly is low compared to most neighboring countries, $1,730. The two leading sectors of Cambodian economy are textiles and tourism. In addition, agriculture remained the main source of income for many Cambodians. The service sector is highly concentrated on trading and catering service. School of PE and Arts. In Cambodia, an education system has been in place since at least from the 13th century on. Traditionally, Cambodian education took place in the Wats, Buddhist monasteries and was offered exclusive to the male population. The education involved basic literature, the foundation of religion, and skills for daily life like carpentry, artistry, craft work, constructing, playing instruments, and etc. Two other components of Cambodian educational structure involve non-formal education, providing all children, youth, adult, disabled people with literacy and access to life skills. The other components is teacher training education. This allows students that successfully completed grade 12 or grade 9 to pursue teacher certificates at provincial teacher training colleges for primary school teachers or regional teacher training centers for lower secondary school teachers. Language and nationality. Khmer, also known as Cambodian, is the most popular language in Cambodia and is by far known as the single official language and used in most social and professional contexts such as government, administration, all levels of education, and social media. Khmer citizen is nationality of Cambodia. Khmer citizen shall not be deprived of nationality, exiled or extradited to any foreign country unless upon there is mutual agreement. The minority language in Cambodia is the Cham, Vietnamese, Chinese, Japan, Lao, Tampon, at saka Chong. Foreign languages in Cambodia is the French and the English. And as you can see, this is the example of the Khmer. Pasensya na po kasi hindi po natin maintindihan yung sa Khmer. Pero pag inintindi po at makikita po natin sa Tagalog, ang example po ng kamusta, ganyan po ang pagkakasulat. Yung magandang umaga, kamusta ka, ayos lang ako, salamat, anong yung pangalan, sarap makilala kita, paano kita matulungan, anong gagawin mo, maganda ka, mahal ko ang bansa mo. And now, let's move on to the drive and dances. First is classical dances. Khmer classical dance, or locally known as Robam Pitch Rich Trope, is a highly stylized performing art form originating from the royal courts. Originally, it was performed and maintained by attendants of the royal palace with the purpose of calling upon the gods and spirits, as well as expressing the respect to the royal courts. Later then, Khmer classical dance was popularized to the public in the middle of the 20th century. Apsara dance. The most popular form of classical Cambodian dances is Apsara, stretching back to the 7th century. A walk around the main temple of Angkor gives tourists general ideas about the importance of Apsara dance in ancient Khmer culture, with the images of Apsara dancers carved into the wall and bas-reliefs. Its roots were found in both Hindu and Buddhist mythologies, with the concept that Apsara were beautiful female creatures that visited earth from heaven to entertain gods and kings with their enchanting dance. Blessing dance. Cambodian blessing dance, or Robam Chon, pour in Khmer languages, is traditionally presented at the beginning of a ceremony or special occasion in Cambodia. This dance is performed by a group of young Khmer girls in odd numbers 3 to 5 or 7 persons to wish for good health, happiness, prosperity, and success. The female dancers are well dressed with Khmer classical royal ballet costumes to symbolize the Devata. Each carries a golden goblet filled with flower blossoms inside, like jasmine, lotus, or romdol. In Khmer perspectives, blossoms are represented for the blessing from the gods. With charming and elegant movements, dancers hold the golden goblets, pluck the blossoms, and gently toss them toward the audience with honor and wishful blessing. The national dance of Cambodia. Based on my research, the Apsara dance is also the national dance of Cambodia. Let's move on to the folk dances of Cambodia. First is the Rubang Truth. The term truth comes from Sanskrit meaning to end. The truth dance is performed prominently during the Khmer New Year to send off the backlash and negativity from the previous year and welcome the new year with positivity and celebrations. The dance represents a popular folktale of a hunter who received great fortune by the virtue of a deer. The hunter then created the truth dance as an order to the forest spirits who brought him this prosperity. The animalistic celebration is presented by dancers dressed as peacocks wearing peacock's feathers, oxen wearing horns, and hunters. Shang Tusang dance. Shang Tusang dance consists of dancers dressed as peacocks, tigers, oxen, and other animals. This folk dance originates from the Phnom Kravan district in the Porsat province of Cambodia. The dance form depicts the lives of the peer community that share many traits from the dominant Khmer and Thai cultures. The Rubang Neri Chia Chichor is a traditional Khmer dance performed by young women in beautiful and colorful costumes and jewelry. The dance reminds the Khmer people of their rich cultural heritage that has been carried forward and nurtured through generations. This dance form is very prominent in the neighboring Southeast Asian countries. Rubam Nisit or the Khmer fishing dance. This dynamic folk dance describes the daily lives of the farmers and fishermen who dance with traditional fishing equipment made out of bamboo. The dancers showcase different traditional fishing techniques using the ang root and shang. Love and romantic stories are a hit genre in the Khmer dances. In Rubam Nisat, young girls and boys happen to meet at the fishing spot and fall in love while they fish and help out each other. Rubam Kum Araik, a dance mainly used two or three bamboo pole which hitting every second. Farmers practice this bamboo dance at the end of a long working day in the fields as a way of entertainment. It is reported that the dance came from the Khoi people, but it is more believed that the birthplace is Philippines during the reign of King Norodom in 1834 to 1904 when he was traveling in Philippines. And now let's move on to the music accompaniment of Cambodia. These are the music accompaniment of Cambodia as you can see. And that's all everyone. Thank you for listening in my discussion.